The premier trading power. Humanity. That name conjures up many images. Known as the premier trading power of the galaxy, if you wanted something, the Terrans would get it to you. Their ideal X-class super freighters are something to behold, able to hold more than 1 billion tons of raw materials and luxury goods. With a crew full of Terrans, you were guaranteed that nothing would interfere with your goods. Positioned 25,000 light-years from the galactic core, they were isolated from the disputes of the galactic conglomerate, yet close enough that it took just under a Terran month to reach the heart of the galaxy. The Terrans prided themselves on being pacifists, refusing to interfere in galactic politics. This principle was put to the test during the Tid-Unk War, when the Terrans traded with both sides, supplying food and dihydrogen monoxide, claiming it was to ensure the survival of civilians. The Galactic Council was skeptical and investigated the Terran military doctrine, discovering a rich history that ended abruptly 100 years before first contact. This war, known as the War to End History, had a profound impact on Terran society, leading them to swear off all forms of warfare. The Terran Dilemma. The Terrans forged a document that their government must follow during wartime, prioritizing the protection of civilians. This concept was foreign to the rest of the galaxy, where everyone was considered a combatant during a war. Despite this, the Terrans continued their pacifist ideology until the bombing of INA by Tit forces. In response, the Terrans halted all shipments to Tit territories, causing a significant disruption. The Tit government, outraged, saw this as a declaration of war. However, the Terrans were too far away for any immediate military response. As the Tit civilization crumbled into civil war, the Terrans struggled with the consequences of their actions. Their peace forces faced fierce resistance, and the Terrans realized that the rest of the galaxy did not share their values. Enemies began to see the Terrans as weak, with their vast resources making them an attractive target. The Favia Empire, facing famine after a supernova destroyed part of their food supply, began sponsoring attacks on Terran super freighters. Initially, these were peaceful hijackings, but tensions escalated when a crew was massacred. The Terrans demanded justice, but the Favia government refused, leading to a declaration of war. The Favia conflict. The Favia fleets, prepared from recent conflicts, moved quickly, attacking Terran systems. The first system to fall was the relatively undefended Fail system. This attack was a statement to humanity. We can reach you, and we will defeat you. However, this only fueled humanity's rage. A Terran diplomat's statement from the past resurfaced, speaking of a sleeping giant that should not be awakened. The galaxy initially dismissed this as mere rhetoric, but reports of massive fleet movements within Terran space began to emerge. The Terrans, long considered pacifists, were gearing up for a significant conflict. Factories around gas giants churned out warships, and millions were recruited for the coming fight. Advanced weapons capable of planetary destruction were developed, and a vast armada assembled at the Terran borders. The Terran counterattack. On January 25th, Terran sensors detected significant movement towards Favia space. The galaxy watched in awe as a massive fleet moved faster than light, converging on Favia territory. The Favia defenses, though substantial, were quickly overwhelmed. The Terran assault was relentless, with entire systems falling within hours. The Favia leadership was in disarray, struggling to comprehend the scale and ferocity of the Terran response. As the Terran fleet encircled the Favia home system, the panic set in. The Terran ambassador called for an emergency meeting of the Galactic Council, offering peace only if the Favia surrendered unconditionally. With their leadership in chaos, the Favia had no choice but to accept. The Terran forces withdrew, leaving a stark warning. May we hope that the giant of war may never awake again. Aftermath and reflection. The galaxy was left in shock. The once peaceful Terrans had demonstrated unmatched military might, shaking the very foundations of the galactic order. The Favia, now a shadow of their former selves, were left to rebuild amidst the ruins of their civilization. The other empires took note, realizing that the Terrans were not to be underestimated. Humanity returned to their pacifist ways, but the memory of their awakening lingered. They had shown that, while they preferred peace, they were more than capable of defending themselves when provoked. The lesson was clear. The sleeping giant could awaken, and when it did, the consequences would be dire. Legacy of the war. The war left a lasting legacy on the galaxy. Empires that once saw the Terrans as easy targets now approached them with caution and respect. Trade resumed, but with an underlying tension that had not existed before. The Terrans continued their peaceful trade, but their newfound military capabilities served as a deterrent to any who might challenge them. The story of the war was passed down through generations, a cautionary tale of underestimating one's enemies. The Terrans' transformation from pacifists to a formidable military force became a subject of study in military academies across the galaxy. The phrase, "the awakening of the sleeping giant," became synonymous with the Terrans' unexpected might. A new era. The galaxy entered a new era, marked by a fragile peace maintained by the balance of power. The Terrans, now respected and feared, continued to trade and interact with other civilizations. Their commitment to peace remained strong, but the memory of the war ensured that they would never be taken lightly again. The Terran government, reflecting on the events, strengthened their resolve to protect civilians and avoid conflict. They invested in diplomacy and alliances, working to create a more stable and peaceful galaxy. The war had awakened something within them, not just their military prowess, but a deeper understanding of their role in the galaxy. As the years passed, the Terrans remained vigilant, always ready to defend their values and way of life. The sleeping giant had awakened once, and while it now rested, the galaxy knew that it was always there, ready to rise if needed. The legacy of the war shaped the future, a reminder of the power of unity and the importance of peace.